is a member of Commensa. He specializes in business and success coaching, and he's a successful businessman himself. He's going to give us really just a practical pictorial of the goal-setting process. And I've heard Andrew speak a couple of times before. He is entertaining, so don't feel too stiff to laugh. We will have some good times together tonight, and we look forward to having a really successful AGM together. Andrew.
Thanks, guys. Thanks very much. I must say I was really intimidated when I was going to do this presentation tonight, and I realized I was talking to all these really qualified people. And Megan, thank you very much. The last 30 seconds before I was about to come up here, I was whispering in my ear, telling me the people from Cape Town and how wonderful they are and how qualified they are, and the people in the college themselves. So if I was intimidated before, I'm now terrified. Okay, because anything I say here. Okay, realistically, guys, okay. What I'm really trying to do tonight is, I find that the goal, and it's not goal setting, goal achievement process, because goal setting is just one small, tiny, minuscule facet of the goal achievement process. The goal achievement process is this complicated, difficult thing that everybody gets intimidated by, and it's something that I've found with my clients is, when they start realizing that, unfortunately, success is disguised by that ugly four-letter word called work sometimes. They get intimidated, they get scared, they find 100 million reasons why they've got to rather work every day, why they've got to keep their families going every day, and 6 months passes, and they're still doing the same stuff they've always done, and incredibly, they're still getting the same stuff they've always got. And so what I did a while back was I sat down and I thought, how do we simplify this process? How do we put it in an understandable format that people can actually look at it, realize that it's actually not this ominous beast that's out there, it's actually something simple, and it's actually your friend. It's something that you can utilize very simply. So what I decided to do was, I took a really simple thing, a child's puzzle, a join-the-dots puzzle, and I kind of stuck all the bits and pieces that come together to make the goal achievement process a system that works to allow you to facilitate developing habits, because ultimately we all have habits. We have habits that don't serve our success. So why not develop a set of habits that serve our success? And what we'll end up getting is painless success, because everything we do, we get out of bed in the morning, I guarantee you, the same foot touches the floor every morning. You brush your same side in your mouth with a toothbrush every single morning. You have routines that you do. So you can either accept that you're going to get into a rut, a routine that's going to not serve you at all, or you can say, let me develop a set of success habits that I'm going to do stuff every day, and by accident, I'm actually going to become successful. So that's what I've done, is I've actually put together this little pictorial thing, which is a kiddie's join-the-dots puzzle, which puts it all together. Fortunately or unfortunately, 20 minutes is not enough time for me to put it across to you like I'd like to. So if I speed through some bits and pieces, forgive me, but I do understand that you people do know what goal setting is, and you do understand what setting priorities. So I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritty of stuff. I'm going to assume that you know a heck of a lot of stuff, and probably a lot of you here know a heck of a lot of stuff more than I do. I should put it on. Okay, guys, so basically, and I hope I'm not opening up a can of worms here, but the way I see it, and I'm putting my neck on the line here, and I'm saying there's three kinds of people. There's winners, losers, and winners in waiting. Winners, for me, are people who've got it together, who have the success habits, who are focused, who are committed and driven to be successful. Then there's losers who have this victim mentality, and they go, oh my goodness, life is terrible, everything I do goes wrong, I can't do anything right, woe is me. And then there's the large majority of people out there, which I like to call winners in waiting. They're the people who are hungry. They're our clients. They're the people that are looking, that are searching, that are trying to find ways to improve themselves, to become more successful. Those are the people we make our living on. I'm sure you've all seen the Stephen Covey model, maybe in different formats, etc. But what we're ultimately saying, and this is the challenge that I'm sure I'm not the only one that has with my clients. Everybody has so much time to feel busy, to feel they're working in the quadrant where things are are not urgent, but they're important. At least, let me get this straight. They're working up here in these 3 green quadrants, okay? They're hanging around there making a living. And where do they actually need to be? We need to be in the zone. Any goal that we're wanting to achieve, anything meaningful that we're wanting to do with our lives, comes in that zone. And we're so busy doing all this stuff, coming home feeling exhausted like we've had really hard, successful days, but all we've done is a lot of that and very little of that. We can't ever achieve anything. We can't achieve our goals until we start. Doctrinate is such a strong word, but maybe that's how strong it actually needs to be. We need to strongly instill into our clients that they need to work as often as possible on things in this zone. Get themselves into the zone. Work on things that are important but not urgent. An incredible model, and that's the whole basis that I've built this program around, is trying to build meetings with yourself to allow you to spend as much time as possible in that zone. As I said, our whole lives are driven by habits. So what we want to do is we want to move out of being mediocre. We want to move out of being in the rut of mediocrity, and we want to get ourselves a set of formulated, a system. As we were saying earlier, we're creatures of habit. We are creatures that live by routine. I guarantee you, how often do you get in your car, you start driving to work, you arrive there and you go, I don't even know which route I took. We instill these things into ourselves. We almost become unconscious to what's going on around us. Those are habits. Wouldn't you want to develop a set of habits, and this is what this process is all about, is becoming the machine of success. Obviously, we need beliefs and values to support us. I'm not going to go into those. Actions, naturally, nothing can happen. We can't sit and think with the secret and watch our fingers on the steering wheel of our car, and the next morning our Maserati is going to be in the driveway. Okay, we all know that's not going to happen. So we need to be taking action to make things happen in our lives. And this is what it's all about. Joining the dots. What I'm looking to do is to put a process together where we can actually feel and see the system. Because how do our minds actually work? If I say the word to you, running water, do you see, or you? No, you don't. You see a tap. You see water running over a waterfall, river, something. Your mind works in pictures. So if we're going to now try to give you knowledge, and what is knowledge? Knowledge is pointless until we actually apply it in our lives. So this is what I'm trying to do, is give people an understanding, a system, a whole foundation to understand exactly what do I need to do to make this happen. So let's join the dots. The first thing that I tell all of my clients, we have to have massive, huge expectations. Because if we have small expectations, we're going to have small results. Very seldom do we hear of somebody that exceeds their own expectations. Somebody that excels above their own belief in their own abilities. So what we need to do, and what I found is, when I get people to actually start seeing their potential and seeing that they can achieve more than they think they can, it's unbelievable the results that we start to see. The foundation, as I was saying earlier, the stem. What picture am I trying to draw here? I'm drawing a shamrock. Now for me, you can draw any picture in your head, what works for you. But for me, a shamrock is a symbol of luck. It's a symbol of success. So the foundation of my symbol of success is basically working on my life purpose and vision. What is my life purpose and vision? It's the why behind every single thing that I do. So once I know why I need to do something, once I've got that deep-rooted fire, inspiration in my belly that's going to drive me and make me get up there and do stuff, what do we as coaches need to do? We need to help our clients turn up that volume of that little inner voice that lives inside them. Because where does our purpose reside? There's not a single person on this planet that does not have a purpose, that does not have a life purpose. Why is it the most difficult thing for us to bring out of our clients? And I'm sure I'm not the only person that battles with this.
We've got so many tools, so many techniques, so many processes that we use to unlock this, when ultimately all we've got to teach our clients to do is to turn up the volume and listen to that little inner voice, because it knows. It's there. We do know what our purpose is. And the first branch in our little shamrock is obviously the goal achievement process. What do we need to do? As I said, teach your clients to dream big. Because when you dream big, you see big things. But there's a cost that comes with this. When we dream big and we decide what we want, it becomes quite ominous. And it becomes quite a daunting thing to actually think, well, how am I going to do this? So what do we now do? We say to our clients, guys, break them back into projects. You know, if we've got this massive goal that we're wanting to achieve, I don't believe that I can achieve it. But if I break it back into bite-sized, edible little projects, and I get out there and I actually look at achieving one project at a time, and not only one project at a time, I look at breaking my projects back through mind mapping into individual steps that I can actually apply. Because a project or a goal isn't something that I can actually get out there and pick up the phone and do on Monday morning. Mind mapping takes this ominous goal that's been turned into a project, takes it off the paper, turns it into things that I can actually do, that I can actually apply, that tomorrow morning, in the planning process that we're going to go through a little bit later, I can actually do stuff to make it happen. Develop the habit set that is going to facilitate my success. That obviously, like I said, well, mind mapping delivers your individual actions, which delivers your action list. Now, your action list is like your life purpose. It's your fundamental document that does everything from here on in. My action list is the document that goes into my every single planning document that I do. My action list serves as the foundation for that. So it's going to seem, when I start talking about planning, and planning, if you speak to old Eisenhower, and I forget exactly how to say this, so forgive me if I read it. It says, he said, planning is indispensable, but plans are worthless. And the way that I understand that is, if we don't plan, we're going to fail. But if we get a plan, and no matter what happens in our environment around us, no matter what changes happen, we are doggedly going to stick to that plan because that's our plan, it's not going to work. So we need to have some sort of foundation. We need to have some sort of basis to actually work from. But it's not the be-all and end-all. It's not the only way. It's one way. But it's a flexible way. It's a way that we've got to understand that we can dynamically change it, work within it. How do we do that? I'll get to that now. We now start looking at breaking our life back, because ultimately, until we've got some structure, we need to have structure. So to get that structure, the first thing that I look at doing is I say, let's look at our life from a year perspective. Last year, I had a million things that I was trying to do, and I think we were all chasing after a lot of business that wasn't there, and it was a really challenging year, and didn't get a hell of a lot done. This is something that I introduced to myself this year, is I broke my year back into 4 equal segments of 3 months each. One 3-month segment, instead of having 6 or 7 goals, I bring out a priority goal and maybe a second priority goal. And guess what I do? I don't dilute my energy and put a little bit there and a little bit here and some over there. I focus every bit of my energy, every bit of my being into achieving that one or those 2 goals. The results that I've enjoyed this year have been astounding. The results that I've seen in my clients that I've introduced this to have been astounding. Prioritization is unbelievable with the results that you can actually see.